when clients are interested in doing more distraction work or working through the bunnies, the squirrels, the other people that walk by, my dog barks out the window, pulls or lunges and pulls on leash. Eventually, I always get to something called DMT. And essentially, what it is it stands for distraction, mark, and then treat. So if you've been following me for a while, then you guys should have a marker word. If not, we will go over it because that is probably the most important part of DMT. So our marker word is our way to tell our dogs that they did something correct. My marker word is yes. That's my cue to my dog that, hey, you did something right, so a treat is coming. And that's two of our parts for DMT, mark and treat. So I am going to power my marker word up very, very specifically by keeping it in 3 separate steps. I'm going to say my marker word, then I'm going to reach for the treat, and then I'm going to deliver the treat. The reason why I put so much emphasis on this is because a lot of the times owners will yes. And if you weren't paying attention and being very, very analytical about it, you would notice that my hand was already in the treat pouch by the time I was saying my marker word. Doing that doing that kind of teaches our dogs to pay attention more to our actions than anything. And dogs are already more visual learners than auditory learners. So whenever they consistently see my hand go in the treat pouch, even Apollo says, hey, I know that means you're going to give me something. Versus if I just say my marker word, yes. Sometimes it's a little bit, things are blowing around all over here, so things are a little bit distracting, but sometimes it can elicit the let me look towards you, yes, when I hear that word, instead of having to rely on being able to see what's going on. So there is a piece of trash that's floating around down the street, and as you can see, he was completely oblivious to me scrounging around in my treat pouch. But there you go. But yes, my marker word was able to get his attention directly back onto me. Yes. So I really like to emphasize that yes, then reach, and then deliver the treat. Yes, then reach, then deliver the treat. I will do this with a new dog once, twice a day for 2 to 3 days. Typically after that, they are boom onto it and they know what that word means. Yes. And they tend to pick up on it very, very quickly. Sometimes it's faster than 2 to 3 days. I like to just make sure it's kind of ingrained, even though it will continue to get more ingrained as you train, because you will be using your marker word to teach your dog so many different things. But when it comes to distraction work, I like to really emphasize the power of the marker word, because the very first step of DMT is the distraction. So if the distraction is high enough that they can't, their ears turned off, nobody's home, then that shows that we have a lot more to work with. When we're working in the realm where they're able to pay attention to you through a distraction, that's when we can really get some traction and learning to take place. So I was hoping that in my front yard there would be a little bit more going on, but there honestly isn't. And so what I can do is every time Apollo looks away from me is when I will give my marker word, and then and then follow that up with a treat. Yes. So I'm taking him looking away from me as my distraction for now. There are some birds flying around. There are some cars making some noises. Yes. There's some construction going on pretty far away, but still somewhat close. So there are some subtle things going on, but I want you guys to be thinking of the big distractions for right now. So cars driving by, people walking by, um, the things that are the most obvious to you, because it's so hard, especially when owners have never done this before, that they try to start DMTing everything. And yes, eventually I want you to be DMTing everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the neutral, the stuff they don't care about. But in the beginning, that's so hard and so overwhelming for a lot of owners that they end up doing nothing. So what I would highly suggest is being able to go outside on your front lawn or front yard, front porch, or somewhere where there is sometimes a distraction, or you could even play a distraction on the TV. I know you can play doorbell sounds, dogs barking, stuff like that on YouTube. And every time that sound occurs is when you're going to mark and treat. Yes. So I'm not waiting for my dog to react. I want ideally to get ahead of it before there is a reaction. Sometimes humans are a bit slow. So if you happen to mark a little late when they say have already barked, that's okay. Just our goal is to mark before they react. That's hard to predict sometimes though, and a lot of the times I will like my service dog in training will let out a bark, and then I will start DMTing over and over and over again until we have worked through that situation. So there, like for example, there might be an alert bark, like, oh, that person startled me, I'm going to let out a little boof. So I would mark and treat that, yes, and then I would continue marking and treating, so he would look away, yes. I know. Yes, yes. Or if there was a very loud truck, I would be marking and treating or until I stop hearing the truck, basically. Yes. Good boy. Yes. If you've gotten to a point where your dog is continues to react even though you've given your marker word, that is a good indication that, lights off, no one's home, and you need to increase distance. So that would just be walking away from whatever the distraction is, or just finding a way to get out of eyesight, something like that. Getting away from the distraction is going to be your best bet. Yes. Good job. And that is our video for today. That is our introduction into distraction work. There will be more videos coming up in the future with distraction work, resource guarding, household manners, all that fun stuff, loose leash walking, all of it. So just keep an eye on this space. If you need more help with distraction work and reactivity, and maybe even some types of aggression, then drop a comment down below, reach out to me, and I would be more than happy to help you out. We can set up a consultation call and we can go over some strategies that would really help. I can create a playlist for you, or I even have a online course that goes through reactivity, household manners, loose leash walking, everything that you could ever imagine wanting a perfect dog for, basically. Um, yes. Good job, buddy. Yep, everything's down in the description below. Any questions or anything, drop a comment. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Have a great day, guys, and keep on training.